Yo, guys, what's going on? Thanks so much for coming by this live stream. Pretty stoked for this one. This one's pretty badass. The last 10 seconds of life, heavy as balls band. Stoked to have them on. Again, want to thank, like always, Tim from AuraFest. We see that he's actually in the chat here. What's up, Tim? Want to thank you again, man, for helping us to put these interviews together. We've had a lot of badass bands that were able to show up for some of these live interviews. So we really appreciate that. And thanks for helping us work out the logistics and stuff. But yeah, we've got Tyler and Andrew from the last 10 seconds of life on stream with us. What's up, guys? How you guys feeling?
What's going on?
Man.
Good to have you guys. Good to have you guys. So it was Andrew, I think you said you're actually currently on tour, not with the last 10 seconds of life, but this is your off day, right?
It's my off day with my other band, Body Box. We're on tour with Go Ahead and Die, members of Sepultura, Soulfly, and whatnot, the Cavalieras.
Wow.
But yeah, just hanging out right now at my guitarist's house. Love to do this interview. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Man. That's awesome. I think this might actually be the first time that we've had a band on one of these live stream interviews that's actually been on tour and able to do the interviews. So, I mean, touring is already pretty hectic as it is. And then you were actually able to schedule this in somehow. So let me ask you real quick about that kind of side project, and we'll talk about the good stuff. That's a pretty hefty names there that you dropped for that. What is that? What was the name of that band again?
Go Ahead and Die.
Nice.
That's Max Cavalera's new band with his son Igor, and it's an honor to tour with them. I got to go out with Soulfly last year, and it was great. All over the country for like 10 weeks, all over the place.
And Sepultura.
But, sure.
Did what you've been doing in the last 10 seconds of life, is that something that helped you to kind of bridge into working on that project, or was that unrelated?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, at the time they needed a guitarist, and I just do mutuals. One of my friends was like, "Hey, this band needs to hop on a tour," and my first tour with them was like the Acacia Strain, Sangosugabog, and I'd be more than because I love both of those bands. So just so happened last time finished recording our EP. Right after that, I just head out and did that tour, and ever since then, just kind of. And I moved to Florida, where this band is from, so it kind of just all worked out hand in hand.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I mean, that's cool that, I mean, you guys are in a badass band, killing it right now, man, heavy as shit. And then that's cool that even helped you to get something else and even do something. I mean, that's crazy, man. What you said, Sepultura, Soulfly, that's pretty badass for sure.
Absolutely. Headbangers ball.
Yeah. But anybody that's watching the stream right now, just to let you guys know, we've got Andrew in the beanie. He plays bass, and we've got Tyler. He's the bald guy. He does vocals. So if you guys are checking out the stream right now and you want to throw any comments or anything, feel free to leave a comment. We're going to try to check the chat and throw some of those.
Vocals as well.
Oh, backing. They're both vocalists.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes I do. Sometimes.
Yeah, he backs me up.
Yeah. We've got Lucas here, says, yo, that's crazy. Exciting times for Manhack, isn't it? Yeah, man. Pretty cool to be doing these streams. Michael says, hi, Tyler. Want to establish that Tyler is a very kind person. He deserves a shout out just for being a nice dude and all around beast of a vocalist in Promise Breaker and the last 10 seconds of life.
You make me blush on here, man. Come on. Stop. I love you.
Hey, you know, we got to start off with some positivity, man. This guy's got the right idea.
Always.
It might go downhill after that, but hey, at least it starts positive, right? But yeah, so you guys were originally formed in Pennsylvania around 2010. Pretty sure you have two albums that charted number 14 in the Billboard magazine Heat Seekers chart, which is pretty badass considering that the last 10 seconds of life is a truly just an underground screaming metal band that will probably never get radio play. I mean, right? That's just kind of how that genre is. When you guys... Throughout the career, because you guys have different members now, but I mean, did you ever think that at some point the kind of music that you guys would make would reach that kind of an outlet, that it would be charting on something like that, like a Billboard magazine?
You know, I was talking to Scott Ian from Carnifex about this actually on one of our tour dates with them. He had because he had described deathcore as being this kind of like bastard child that nobody really liked or nobody really listened to. And he thought that it was like really awesome that within the last few years, it's been getting a lot of popularity and like selling out a lot of venues. So I mean, I know you kind of said that, it's just like all out screaming kind of underground stuff, but I really believe that, the future of, like the, rock and roll will eventually evolve into what we're doing now. And, I think that as the band Last 10, we've called it rock and roll before, and that's just like a part of the idea too.
Yeah, that's a good point. It is pretty crazy, man. I mean, you got to think, for instance, even though this kind of seems like it was a while ago, but August Burns Red is a Grammy nominated metalcore band. I mean, what even is that sentence? Right? I mean, the fact that they even got nominated. I mean, it's August Burns Red, right? It's ridiculous.
And to be able to record with their engineers and stuff, like it's an honor, honestly, to be in the same studio as well. Like it's mind blowing. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Carson.
Yeah, because Carson and Grant, we just recorded our last album with them, and like they were also doing like the newest August Burns Red stuff. It's like I think it was like I can't say anything, but I know that they were also working on August Burns Red at like similar times. So it's like it's just cool because growing up I loved that band so much. So that I was just even working in the same space is like, whoa, that's insane.
Yeah, that's awesome though. You definitely know you're going to get a good mix. You don't even have to question it. You know the mix is going to sound awesome.
Huge. Work there in general, like a really nice studio and just the best like production I could say I've been a part of.
They're geniuses.
Honestly.
Yeah, that's badass, man. Good for you guys. Ethan Slaughter says, promise breaker for Ethan from Chugcore. Miss booking you, Tyler.
Dude, that's awesome that people have mentioned Promise Breaker twice. That's my other band that I work with.
Oh, nice.
I've been fronting that band since 2016, and that's like a true passion project of mine. We're making a new album and stuff, and awesome. Thank you guys for putting that in the chat.
Sick. Yeah, no problem with promoting that. I'll make a note here too, and actually make sure to check that out after the stream because I wasn't aware. So, Michael also says let's keep positive. Last 10 Seconds of Life and Norbert Crowfield should happen.
Sure. I would play there, absolutely.
Okay.
There's a PA system. Let's go.
Yeah, that's all you need is those two speakers. Tim Orfest says those new tracks sound fire, by the way.
The rest of this album is thank you, by the way, but the rest of this album is like I'm obsessed with it. It's the best thing that we've ever made.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man.
9 days.
We're stoked to hear it, man. You guys always bring the heavy for sure. So you guys, social media kind of going about or talking about song releasing and stuff. The dynamic nowadays has changed as far as how bands are not only releasing music, doing more singles versus albums and approaching social media differently. How do you guys as a band approach social media, or maybe you can touch on the song releasing style, like releasing a bunch of singles that lead up to an album. How are you guys approaching that now differently than you might have earlier?
Well, our first, I was doing music videos. We actually did the first song. We shot the music video while on tour during an off date, and that came out phenomenal. Shout out Cody and who else was there? But I do work with like Baker Benjamin and Disturbed. It was really sick getting to work with that dude and shooting that video. That was for Of All Humanity. And the second video we shot actually right after we got home from tour, which was pretty cool. But that, and then we went through like Decibel and I think Metal Injection to like premiere our stuff through. I'd say it was really sick to get to work with them because I remember always getting to like watch Metal Injection videos as a kid, like little interviews, like you're getting your fix on Metal Injection. I thought that was pretty cool to see my face on one of those articles is always like sick, you know?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Tyler, what's your opinion on releasing music and the formats of releasing music nowadays than it was in the past?
I mean, it's hard. I mean, it's hard to say. It's hard to say which era I prefer, honestly. I mean, I don't want to date myself, but like I like come from kind of like downloading music and putting it on a CD and like having it on a CD, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that streaming is like just so cheap And I feel like the artists don't get, I mean, maybe I'm biased because I'm an artist, but like, I feel like the artists just don't get enough from the streaming industry anymore. I wish that it was like, I wish that it mattered more, but I mean, that's just what you got to play the game at some point, you know, and you just kind of have to you have to do the things and drop the singles and do that stuff. But I mean, honestly, like we talked about my other band, Promise Breaker, and I play in another band called Sabella too. And I mean, with those bands, it's like we kind of just drop the music whenever it's ready and like kind of make it happen. But I feel like whenever you're working with agencies and labels and things are different. So, you know.
Yeah. That's
Oh yeah. I miss some, like when you get to just like upload your single on YouTube or Bandcamp and then that's it. I mean, nowadays, like I guess with bigger stuff, it's like get it on all streaming platforms, get the articles ready, you know, like, I mean, that's sick, obviously reach, but it's like, I remember back in the day, like even with Towers.
Yeah, it wasn't as big of a, I feel like it wasn't as big of a deal back then.
Yeah.
You know, you just kind of put your stuff out there and people were like, hey, this is sick.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of like you have to really put like your foot forward like very hard for anything to kind of be an impact. But that's just how the industry, I guess, works, you know. So anybody who's like watching this or in a band right now that's trying to release music, or if you're an artist that's making music, like find any way to stand out. Do a different thing.
True. 100%. Yeah. And you bring up a good point about, I mean, it's kind of a gift and a curse, really. I mean, it's a gift because it's the easiest now than it ever has been to get your music out there. I mean, you can just make a CD Baby account, DistroKid account, pay the, I mean, if you play distro, even if you do the Musician Plus membership, I mean, it's like $35 a year or some shit. I mean, you can just, 80 outlets, boom, your music's on. Spotify, Apple, all the good ones, right? Exactly. The problem is...
That's still sick, yeah.
True, but the problem is everybody can do that also. So, and on top of that, more and more people are being born, more and more people are making bands. There's more bands now than there ever has been in the history of bands. So kind of talking back to what you were saying, Tyler, is you have to really put your best foot forward, and it's tough to do because everybody's already written that riff. Everybody's already done that music video. Everybody's already called that tour the SummerSlam tour because they did it in July. I mean, so it's how do you right? I mean, how do you find something? It seems like it really all comes back to work ethic, and I think this is one of the reasons why the single releasing thing might be so popular nowadays is because it takes a lot to be able to release a single consistently like that. But if you can, that's something that really helps you to stick out, because every time you release a single, you're relevant again. Boom, boom. So if you do that shit every 6 weeks, right? So it's kind of back in, but kind of what you were saying also, back then it was a little different. It's just kind of like you drop a record and then you tour, and then right, your main, maybe social media a little bit, but not nearly as much of an impact as it has now. But then it was more about getting your product in front of people, but in person, right, at shows, doing tours. That was really important. It still is, but not as much as it was back then, it seems like, right?
Yeah, not as much. And I feel like even like, you know, things, I mean, I also might be dating myself by saying this too, but like CDs, like physically holding the music sometimes, like that's like I feel like that's like kind of a thing of the past as well, you know?
Yeah, that's we had somebody at our merch table say that they bought CDs because they collect them, and that's the first time I've ever heard somebody collecting CDs and not just buying them to listen to music on. Yeah, so man. It's kind of like, all right, well, we're there at that point now.
Of course,
yeah.
That's why I feel like, honestly, that's why people want like vinyl records more so than CDs, because like they're not buying that shit to like have to like listen to it.
Yeah,
they just want to have the thing. They want to have that
somewhere.
thing. And I mean, that's me too. Like I'm sitting in my room with a bunch of records, you know, because I want to have that thing.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a huge part. Like whenever I went to go see bands, they would have like physical music, you know, sometimes like they would have like CDs that I could buy. And I feel like that's such a thing in the past too.
Yeah. It seems like vinyls kind of came full circle, right? It's like they were irrelevant because CDs came out. Now they're popular again. So CDs might be going through that same period that vinyl is, where CDs are now starting to become irrelevant, and then they're going to kind of loop back around maybe and be popular again. But hey,
bro, that's
who knows?
So vintage, bro. CDs, bro.
Yeah, we still have them. Do you guys still sell CDs at your merch table?
Oh, we have no
Oh,
CDs.
no.
No.
No CDs.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, maybe on
Zero
the next
CDs.
thing we do. Yeah, on
Zero.
the next thing we do, we'll take some out. Yeah.
Do you have CDs on your merch site?
Yeah, we do. Yeah. We got
Yeah.
CDs and vinyl.
Oh, so you okay? Yeah, you just don't carry that stuff at shows. Yeah.
Yeah, just got to bring it at shows now.
Yeah.
Once this comes out, the next tour we'll do is we'll bring some with us too. Which
Yeah. No Name Graves is the new album. It comes out on February 9th.
Yeah.
And you can pre-order the vinyl and the CD and all that stuff. So
nice. That's badass.
The vinyl comes with the EP we did last too, which is going to be sick. It's like a 2-sided LP or like a dual LP.
So it has the EP and the album.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So that EP was from a previous release, the one before?
That was
we really
with this lineup. Yeah,
nice.
Last year.
Sick.
Yeah.
What is you guys' current lineup? So you said chat about that for a sec. So again, we got Tyler on vocals, Mr. Baldman over here. We got Wyatt on guitar, which is an original member. Bass on Andrew on bass, which is in the beanie on stream here. And then off stream we have Dylan. How did you guys come to get this lineup together that you have right now?
Well, Dylan, he went on tour with last night. He used to fill in for a band called Visceral Disgorge. Played drums for them on a tour they did with Last 10 with Ingested. So they always knew, and he kicked it off with Last 10 really well. And at the time when we needed a new drummer, he was more than willing to do it. Like him and Wyatt kept in good touch. Me, I filled in on a tour, a full US with Cattle Decap, Creeping Death, and Extinction AD. And that was my first full US tour, which I was really stoked on too. And I've always known Wyatt and all the Last 10 dudes. It's like 2011. My old band's played a million shows with them growing up, so always really cool. And then just what happened, they needed a bass player. I hopped on, stoked on the opportunity, and just the rest went from there. Same goes for Tyler too. Really, he's the same story as me, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I've been going to Last 10 shows for a very long time. I've been friends with Wyatt for a long time as well. So as soon as the opportunity kind of came about, I said absolutely. I said sure.
Yeah. That's badass.
And I mean, it's I have never done this much touring or anything, but it's been a pretty fun journey so far.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, Andrew, you were saying that your first U.S. tour was with Cattle Decapitation. That's that's pretty impressive. To say, first tour, just Cattle Decap, no thing.
Yeah. Hell of a tour. Yeah, that I was just all right, now I'm getting the full gist of what I'm getting myself into. I was freaking stoked.
That's amazing, man. Can't even imagine seeing that damn
every time they're in town.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just gonna say real quick, I can't even imagine seeing Cattle Decapitation on tour just every night like that, dude. It's gotta be crazy.
Oh, it was a gift, honestly. It was a real gift. I couldn't believe it myself. I'm just wow. And that was direct support too. I was just it didn't feel real. I was dreaming. I was almost high. I felt like I was high in the moment.
That's badass. It seems like Cattle Decap is Cattle Decap and Carnifex both kind of have this vibe. Maybe you guys can comment on this, where it seems like they really like to pull not necessarily the biggest possible bands that they can on tours, but they kind of like to pull some really badass kind of up and coming bands and bring them on tour with them, right? You guys seem like you might know some of them and have some experience with them. Is that something that those bands, just for an example, that they do on purpose? It's okay, yeah, we could just have a completely huge stacked lineup, but hey, what are some badass up and coming bands we can bring?
I mean, I'm not sure exactly how responsible they are for who exactly goes on tour with them, but I do know that whenever they do go on tour with bands, they usually go. I feel like whenever we were on tour with them, we vibed with them very well. They were really awesome guys, very welcoming. They had been we had heard the name Last 10 Seconds of Life before, and we really liked the music, so definitely thought you guys would fit on the tour, and also we were made great friends with them. So I mean, that's all I really know. But I mean, I'm sure it does seem like they kind of like to pull out those up and coming bands, and I think that's really cool.
100%.
I'll say well, both Scott and Travis, they both pretty heavy into streaming too, and I know they're usually into the underground bands too. I'm pretty sure Cattle's drummer Dave, he said that he saw Last 10 like Washington once, and he's like, "Oh, we got to take this band out."
Damn.
That's like that was the introduction of how we got that tour originally. And then I've actually seen Last 10 tour with Carnifex back in like 2015. I think it was like Lorna Shore and Black Tongue. It was a pretty stacked lineup for that year. Imagine if that happened now. Freaking yeah.
Wait, but, was that
Within the Ruins too? I think was on it.
Oh, what tour was that?
Decade of Despair, I think.
I'm thinking of something different. I'm thinking of Summer Slaughter 2018 when Cattle Decap headlined. Carnifex played that too. Was that it? Was that them two bands, right?
No, it was like 2016 or 2018. It was definitely was a Carnifex headliner, and then I remember Black Tongue. They've been on the European one. I think they dropped the Lorna Shores on it. Last 10 opened it. I remember that. I remember that Tuesday in Webster. That was a sick show.
I'm trying to remember what that.
But yeah, so, I mean, Last 10 Carnifex toured.
Yeah,
I think I know which one you're talking about. Like Oceano, Black Dahlia Murder. I was like that too.
I'm trying to remember. Let me see this real quick.
Yeah,
so Between the Buried and Me, no, that wasn't it. Anyway, there's no telling where I'm going to find the information for that at. But yeah, Aurafest. Tim says, yeah, attention spans are different nowadays. Kind of talking about where we were with social media. Michael says, DistroKid sucks ass, man. What you got against DistroKid, man? That thing's been great for us. Yeah. Shit.
DistroKid diss.
Yeah. He also says, Tim said CDs make a good beer coaster.
That is, yeah.
Damn, man. Let us know how you really feel. Shit.
I'll drink to that.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, word.
So you
Attention
guys
spans are short though.
What's that?
Attention spans are pretty short too. I feel like what band was. I think it was like Gojira that said like they don't even make like 10-minute long songs anymore because they know that fan bases and just people in general don't have an attention span like that. I was like, wow, that hit hard.
Kind of touching on that real quick. Do you guys have any really long songs? And what's your most played song on Spotify and how long is it?
Not really any long songs to say.
Yeah.
I'd say our probably most popular one is Pain is Pleasure, which that one, it always pops off whenever we play that one. It's one of my favorites to play, actually.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites to play.
Yeah, absolutely.
How long is that track? Like 3 or 4 minutes long?
I think it's like 2.5 minutes.
Yeah. That's probably one of the reasons why it's so popular. It's
the sweet spot, dude. Yeah. 2.5 minutes is a sweet spot. 3 minutes is like almost pushing it.
Almost, definitely, yeah.
You know what's funny about that, man, is we have a song that's 5.5 minutes long, and it's by far our longest track. The next longest song to that is a minute less, so like 4 minutes and 40 seconds. And it's by far our #1 most streamed song on all of our streaming platforms. I mean, we cannot get people to stop listening to this shit. Not only is it 5.5 minutes long, it's like 2 minutes into the song before you even hear a riff. It's a build up to a build up to a build up. So it's like
also, what I also am saying is complete bullshit. Like if you like long songs, then listen to fucking long songs.
Right.
Like one of my favorite songs literally is by Gojira. It's The Art of Dying. That shit's like almost like 9. I think it's like 9 minutes long. I love that fucking song.
Yeah. That's a good one,
yeah.
Great one, yeah.
If it's good music, it's good music.
Yeah, what the Acacia Strain just did, they had that one release where it's like 3 songs, like 9 minutes each. Like that was sick. That blew me away.
Yeah, that whole Failure Will Follow. That shit is insane.
A 9 minute long Acacia Strain song that's not Tactical Nuke. Wow.
Bro, that one song is like 17 minutes.
What?
And it's lit.
You sure you're not talking about Between the Buried and Me right now?
Promise you. They're going on tour together too. That's pretty sick.
Damn.
They both play their long songs. But and then Coma Witch, like 10 years ago, has a song that's 27 minutes long, I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
I'm like, that's almost unnecessary, but still sick.
Yeah.
I always love that band. Like it's crazy because Acacia Strain and like Last 10 is what got me more into like lower tuned music and just got me into like doing that like 10 years ago. Kind of like really shaped me up into like what I'm doing now, like what I'm playing and writing today. So definitely a big homage to both those bands. It's a pleasure to be in this band too, you know.
But yeah, Tyler, kind of like what you were saying earlier about shorter songs. It's just, it made me think of that because when we came out with that track, it wasn't Oh yeah, I definitely didn't think this song's 5.5 minutes long. Like, nobody's gonna listen to this shit, right? I mean, it has to be 3 minutes or less in order for it to pop off, and then I was like, why is this the most popular one?
Dog, I also don't want to play that shit.
There's a lot of downtime in that track, thankfully.
So Promise Breaker, we write like short ass fucking songs because when we're writing songs, it's like, damn, am I gonna want to play a goddamn 4-minute song next time we fucking play a show? Like, no, I'm not. It's like I'm just gonna get to the point with this shit. So this is just for me. I have a pea brain, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Like the small songs is just for my attention span.
Yeah.
It's just a me thing.
You got to do what works, man. Michael says, I need my 10-minute track sometimes. He also said Infant Annihilator has some long-ass bangers. Dude, can you imagine that? Can you imagine listening to a 9-minute Infant Annihilator song? Can you imagine playing that?
No, I can't.
Yeah,
I can't.
God, that'd be
unimaginable.
That'd be ridiculous. So you guys did some back-to-back touring recently. It looks like it was about 2 months, a little over 2 months or something. So that was two separate tours just booked back-to-back? Like, hey, the last day of this tour, the next day is the first one of the next tour, or how did that pan out?
Pretty much. We did a headliner, in April. And literally right after that ended, we drove to my house, hung out. Then the next day went to the airport to go fly to Europe to go start the next tour.
Wow.
And that was just like, it was already pretty hectic. But the headliner we did was sick. It was with Vomit Forth, Cell, Mugshot, and Tactosa. All phenomenal bands.
Yeah.
All solid bands too. And that was a great time. And then
I was gonna say, I think you guys, Cell and Mugshot, are all on Forthright booking, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
that's wild. That's badass. Yeah, we started working with Ryan a few months or so ago. So yeah, it's pretty cool to see some more agent or booking agency guys on there.
Very sick.
They seem to be, Forthright seems to be doing some badass shit recently, getting some really good tours for some badass bands.
Travis works really hard, and we love him.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Solid all around. But yeah, after that tour, we flew out to the UK and met up with Vulvodynia and Bound in Fear and Bone Carver.
Damn.
And that was like at least me and Tower's first time overseas, so it was like insane. It was really awesome. Get to go to Germany, UK, France, and whatnot. Netherlands. It was really sick.
Blew my mind.
Hit these areas. Yeah, literally. Yeah, it was huge. Stonehenge.
Oh shit!
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Damn.
I have that. I have a rock from Stonehenge laying in my room here somewhere. I don't know.
Are you allowed to take rocks from that, or do they sell them?
Took one of the stones.
What are they gonna do? Come after me?
He said, "I don't know. I just walked up with a chisel and a hammer and started taking shit off."
Yeah.
The fucking king. You're come and get me.
Right.
Yeah.
That's badass. You guys did a European tour though. You said that's both of you guys' first time being in Europe or overseas playing a show, doing a tour.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Damn.
I didn't know what to expect really too much. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you had to get passports and all that stuff, but I mean, were you guys kind of intimidated by that? It's like, all right, well, we toured in the US and that's pretty simple, but I mean, hey, almost every night that we play a show here, it's going to be different language, different country. I mean, what are kind of some of the logistics that you guys ran into that made that might have made that a little bit more challenging than, let's say, just doing a regular US tour?
Well, we had a driver that helped us out too a little bit. He's able to like speak a decent amount of the languages that, and like help us translate to whatever we needed help with there.
Yeah,
and
our driver Dan
too.
helped us a lot. He was fucking awesome.
Shout out Monasteries.
Yeah.
But he helped us out a lot. There's border crossing you have to go through a lot of the times. And then to get into the airport to get into the country, you have to like get visas and these special papers and all that, to sit around and wait. Like, I was just like, this is a hell of a process, damn.
Yeah.
Checking in all of our equipment and stuff, hoping that nothing breaks or something, forbid. But
that was another thing, the voltage issue. We fucked up a lot of our equipment.
Oh yeah, second day in, I had my pedal board just almost explode. I heard a pop, and then it just smelled like a steak in here. I'm just like, well, that's not good.
No.
It was the adapter. Yeah. It was the adapter that like it died doing its job protecting my pedals. So I'm just like, all right. So I had to like, go buy a new adapter and all that. But it was like, lesson learned. This guy's trying to buzz his hair. His clippers explode.
I'm just out here trying to be bald, and my clippers got fucked up.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna be bald this run, bud. It seems like.
Yeah, nope. Got the headband hair. Yep.
Damn.
So we learned about that.
How did you guys go about?
Like, Europeans are like super honest. You know, like they'll just come up to you and be like, "Hey, we don't like your merch. Bone Carver's merch is way sicker."
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Honestly,
we'd be like, "Yo, like fair. That's sick. Like, hit it up."
That's funny. You would expect somebody in the U.S. to do that because the U.S. is so fortunate because we get so many tours, so many bands all the time. And even in popular places in Europe that people often play shows at, they still don't get stuff as much as we do. So you think because of that, they would just be less inclined to say something. That sounds like something somebody in America would say, honestly.
I think, I don't know. I think they're just super honest, you know? They're just super honest over there, I think. I think that there's more of like a, I don't know, some kind of stigma maybe in America or something. Mm-hmm. It's very chill over there. It's very sick.
Yeah, that's badass though. How long was that tour for you guys in Europe?
A little under a month.
Yeah, like 3.5 weeks.
Under a month, I'd say probably.
So how many different countries was that?
I think like the first 7 shows in the UK, and then going out to like France, Paris, France, and then a couple days in Germany, and then like Netherlands.
Hard to say.
Else on top of my head.
Poland,
like 6 or 7. It was all over the place. Yeah, 6 or 7 different. Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah,
that's got to be cool as shit, man. I mean, it's got to be crazy to go overseas and go to all these different countries that don't even speak the same language as you, and then you see the fans out in the audience singing your lyrics. It's like, what is happening?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Someone had a Last 10 tattoo. I'm just like, the fact that someone has a tattoo of my band in another freaking country, just like, blew me away.
Yeah, like hearing people sing the lyrics to Liberation, like in UK and Germany and stuff, like was absolutely unreal. So like, I mean, I'm just so grateful to even have the experience to go over there and like do that. You know, that's unreal to me personally.
That's awesome. Well, you guys are killing it, man. So I'm honestly shocked you guys didn't hit UK sooner than that. But fuck yeah, that's badass either way.
Yeah.
We'll be back.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you've got a EP coming out. You said February.
Full length album.
Full length. That's right. Full length. I read LP is EP. Whoops. So that's coming out February 9th, right?
Yes.
Friday, February 9th. It's called Grave. No Name Graves. That's what it's called. Yeah. Have you already been releasing songs for that?
Yeah, we've released 2 songs off of that album.
2 songs for it. Okay, and those 2 songs will just be on the album.
Yeah.
A little bit of a drip release strategy there. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I shot 2 music videos for those. One of them was in the middle of the Carnifex tour on the day off. The next one was like right after the tour, right until we got home. Because like I'm in Florida, so we try to like do things like as much as we can in person. And then Wyatt lives in Iowa. We used to be like I used to be in New York, which was like a couple hours from PA, and then everyone was like kind of like somewhat close to each other. Like Wyatt was in PA too. So now we all have to like fly in or drive in. So I mean, we try to do as much as we can when we're around to be the most productive for sure.
Yeah.
But,
that's badass. You were able to squeeze.
So we got those 2 videos.
Yeah, we remember you talking earlier about doing those 2 music videos on a day off from tour and then right after tour. I didn't realize that was for this stuff. That's badass, man. That's a lot of work.
Yeah. You were talking about how we were releasing like this album.
That's the grind.
It's we've been having to juggle all that stuff.
Especially playing shows on tour because that drains you physically, mentally, and emotionally in a way that nothing else in your life you do does. And then you have an off day from tour, and maybe this is the way it is for you guys, but doing a music video is just straight cardio all day. It's just, hey, all right, play the set 12 times back to back. Oh, and you have to act as crazy as possible because the better it'll look in the video. So
every time.
Yeah. So being on tour and already having to put in that much work, and then you get an off day just to fill it with doing cardio for 10 hours. I mean, that's a true work ethic right there.
Literally.
Trying to get it done.
Yeah.
I had to bang over.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, you got to go get one of those damn massages that looks like a vibrator and just hold that bitch on your neck for 3 days straight, right?
Yeah, I would hit the love shower.
Chiropractor.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The love shower, dude. Like you just hit the love shower super hot, stand under that thing for like 20 minutes until your skin is like red.
Yes, that's about all you can do. So it looks like there's a couple of features on this this album. Some have we heard some of these features yet? Some of these guest spots?
We have not. No. One of them was gonna be a single, but then we like last minute decided to do a different song.
Okay.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would have been cool. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It looks like you got
I'm really
some
excited for those songs to come out.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. You guys put in the notes here. You said it looks like Sang with Sugar Bog, Suffocation, Bound in Fear are some of the notables that are going to be on that.
Yeah, those are the three features.
Absolutely, yep. Yeah, absolutely. Suffocation, I'm more than happy to get Ricky on there. I grew up listening to that band because I used to live in Long Island, where that band, one of the biggest death metal bands in New York, even like in the Hall of Fame, and just like
what?
My other band, Merciless Concepts, my guitarist still plays in Suffocation, so it was really an honor to get to have my friends be a part of it too.
Yeah, and fucking Ben from Bound in Fear.
Yes.
Yeah, Ben's feature from Bound in Fear is absolutely fucking unreal. And Ben Mason from he's just like one of the best vocalists.
Yeah.
In the genre, in my opinion.
I'm stoked to hear that. And then of course the guy from Sang with Sugar Bog. I mean, that guy is a hard ass.
Oh yeah,
so.
Devin.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Shout out Devin. He got to go on tour with them at one point, and we kicked it off really well. And he's always a Last Stand fan, so I was like, "Oh, I'd love to have you on a song." And I mean, like what they're doing now with like just how it's like death metal and in a low tuning, just like everything done right. And I'm like, I could be just most stoked about. So shout out those guys too, honestly.
Yeah, he fucking crushed his part, but like fucking Ricky and both Devin absolutely smashed their parts.
Yeah. Now they're on tour together right now in Europe. That tour looks so sick.
Yeah.
That tour is too good to be in the US right now. Damn.
Sang with Sugar Bog is a great example of a band that really doesn't take themselves seriously at all, and that's probably one of the things that helped them to blow up. I mean, whenever you log in on social media, if you're following that band, you don't know what the hell is going to pop up on your feed, honestly.
Literally.
And then you hear the music, and it's such a contrast that's just hilarious. It's a great example as to how working in some viral content with your band stuff can work sometimes, and they're a great example of that for sure.
You could say that, yeah. I think that they're just like having fun, you know. Yeah. I think that people like them because they're reigniting like the fun part about this genre. Mm-hmm. The genre became so serious, you know, and it became so like, you know, do shit by the books or whatever and look cool. And I feel like Sang with Sugar Bog just like has fun with it. Like we should all be having fun. And I feel like they're kind of a reminder, and so everybody fucks with that, and we do. So.
Yeah, I remember seeing when they did that tour of Bone of Osiris. Bone of Osiris was doing that whole copy pasta shit, and they said they posted a text status one time and said something about you guys know, or something. Yeah, we're going on tour with that band, you know, the one with the logo, and that was all he said. And it was just the funniest shit, dude.
Yeah.
No, and then the dudes in Sugar Bog, they got like all these like pink shirts that had the Born of Osiris logo, and they would have like synths and pretend to be like all synth core. They would kick it off and roast each other the whole tour.
Oh my god, that's funny as shit. That's badass. That would have been cool to experience for sure. But yeah, Tyler, you bring up a good point, man, about not being so serious. I mean, I guess it's kind of it's different for everybody. I mean, but you do bring up a good point. I find that really interesting. They kind of reignited more of the fun aspect of it, where it's like, hey, let's not take ourselves so seriously or this and that. And you're right, it seems to be paying off for them for sure.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, and I just kind of, it's like a balance, I guess, you know, because you want your music to be taken seriously, but also at the same time, you don't want to like ruin it.
Yeah. Do you guys ever think about that kind of a balance? Is it you just don't really overthink it, or is it like, hey, this is too goofy, or hey, this isn't serious enough? I saw that you guys you made a post recently that was pretty funny. It was that you put one of your new songs with the Ed and Eddie theme, but it was just like the music was just like clipped the fuck out. Yeah. It was like distorted to shit with the car bouncing.
Yep. Yeah, he turned the volume up, so I gotta have it like a deep fried meme and just clipping. Blasting the volume. Yeah, that's just me. I always like, the thing is about, I always like find something funny. I'm like, how could I put last 10 in on this right now? Like some funny thing I see on the internet, kind of. Yeah, so that I've been dipping into a little bit.
Yeah, Drew's good at making memes.
That one was good.
Memes.
That one was good, and that taps into a whole different aspect of entertainment and dopamine and getting people addicted to your content, because you got to think about it like this. Every time somebody laughs, they produce dopamine. So not only is it your job as a band to entertain people with your music, now you also potentially have this added dynamic where you entertain people by humor and making them laugh. So they're kind of getting this double hit, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely,
and we kind of think it's funny, like whenever we see Ed from Ed, and Eddie turning up our music, it's it's funny for me. I thought it was really fucking hilarious.
Anything funny,
That's how we entertain ourselves in the group chat, if you're funny to us, or if you've pissed us off, or we're you're in a meme in our group chat or something. We've that's just how it happens. I don't know.
All the locker room talk.
For instance, whenever we were in California, we saw this guy on a scooter fucking just hauling ass down the fucking road, but he had a fucking case of Modelo on the fucking scooter, just hauling ass down the road
as a footrest. I'm like, that guy's vibing right there.
Yeah, he was vibing hard. So we were just sending us a bunch of pictures of the dude riding down with our album on his scooter and shit, and I don't know. I mean, gotta entertain yourself somehow.
You take that, you have somebody draw it up, right? Hey, we saw this guy doing this thing, draw up a picture of this, and then he put it on a shirt, and then you put the last 10 seconds of life above it. Even somebody that doesn't know what the last 10 seconds of life is, they're just going to associate that with, okay, well, maybe that's what that guy wants to do during his last 10 seconds of life. He wants to ride down a scooter with a pack of Modelo on the back, right?
Yeah, he needs a fucking Modelo.
Yeah. All day. Either that or shirt rips. Shirt rips are pretty big. We did a Taco Bell rip, and it was that sold so well. We're actually gonna have an exclusive rip for Aura Fest. Yeah, that's gonna be really sick. It's a kind of a Georgia exclusive around that area.
Nice. That'll be cool.
It'll be a really cool one
for us Georgians to check out. Was that the most successful?
Absolutely, yeah.
Was that the most successful shirt rip that you guys have done?
Taco Bell one?
Yeah,
I'd say so. I'd say it did really well. I'm gonna dig more into rips. I'm always usually the one digging in Photoshop, just trying to make either funny ideas or serious ideas. I've had a big hand in the merch lately, and trying to get designs. And then we just have some guy that would make the Photoshop files usually for them, making a printable version. I don't really know too much what I'm doing, but I just have an eye for aesthetic. Usually, me and him bounce off ideas actually a lot of
but Drew's better
doing stuff. I know, but it's okay.
Tim says,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's we've been wanting to do a rip, so we need to look into that. Apparently, that's the way to go if you want to sell some merch.
What's your favorite thing to eat in the van? Make a rip of it.
I mean, we want to be pretty typical and just do a Waffle House logo, honestly.
Waffle House is sick.
Yeah.
Peeling Flesh definitely made it the sickest one recently of that.
Which one was that?
Peeling Flesh. They made a really good one. Yeah,
it was
Waffle
awesome.
House fight crew, because that's when someone threw a chair in Waffle House. They saw the opportunity. They took advantage of it. That was huge when it came out.
Yeah, that's smart on their part.
Peeling Flesh is fucking amazing. Shout out Peeling Flesh.
Facts.
Shout out. Yep. Oh yeah.
Tim said, I'm booking bands, kind of going back a little bit here through some comments. He said, I'm booking bands and asking them for 30-minute sets. They all say they have 18 minutes of material. I guess he was talking about the links to songs and stuff earlier. That's pretty funny. Saw the boys in Virginia Beach recently. Whole band crushes, only came for last 10 seconds live. But man, these guys are nasty talking about your live set. So there's some props.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Teasing me with that Virginia monster.
Thanks for coming and checking us out.
He also wanted to know if
Virginia
there are...
Beach.
Yeah, for sure. He also wanted to know if there were any cleans on No Name Graves, and then he put in parentheses, I don't mind them.
Not exactly. No. So it's if you like Crowbar, then you can call it cleans. Like the harshy cleans and not so clean.
Those are the best kind of cleans.
I mean, I do a melody. There's a couple songs where I'll be doing a melody, but it's with my screen.
Yeah. So kind of distorted singing might be the appropriate term for that. I believe it is.
You could, yeah, whatever you want to, but it's not like, I think that the era of Last 10 where Wyatt was singing a lot, that might be more of a past thing.
Gotcha.
If that's what he's referring to. I know that Wyatt wants to do, I think Wyatt, I know I can't speak for him because he's not here obviously, but he's expressed that he doesn't want to sing as much. We might bring out some of those old, like, the Violent Sound songs and stuff to rip those, because there's definitely gems on there for sure, but there's no clean singing on No Name Graves now.
Gotcha. It seems like a best bet, or a safe bet is to, if you can do it, which Tyler, obviously you can, is to do that distorted singing where it's you're screaming, but you can decipher a note being hit, right? I kind of like to refer to it as kind of the Architect style, because Sam nails that really well, where he'll...
Dude, I love the way he does that,
where he'll be screaming, but it's also a pitched note. That shit is cool as hell. I'm been trying to get our vocalist to start working on that more. I don't know how he feels about it, but...
I basically was trying to do that pretty much for a lot of the hooks in the new album. So
yeah.
You'll probably start hearing that.
That's badass.
It's not all throughout the entire album, I did lots of crazy fucked up noises, but there's some melodies.
Michael here also said the shit with Ronnie Rackett had me dying. I guess their feud with them. That's funny.
Bog, yeah,
that's pretty fucking hilarious.
He also said I would like to be hired as a Last 10 Seconds Alive meme maker. So there's some potential help for you.
That'd be sick.
You'd have to be in competition with Drew, and he's pretty rough.
Yeah. We could balance off the ideas. If I make any monetary money out of it, I'll throw you a percentage.
Yeah. Michael also wants to know, what does Last 10 Seconds Alive think about bidets?
If you have a clean ass, then that's fucking sick.
That is pretty sick, yeah. Having those is sick.
You know what's funny is, I don't know if either you guys use this or if you've experienced this, but people that use bidets, it's never just, oh, hey, you got a bidet, how do you like it? And they go, yeah, it's pretty cool. Every time they talk about their bidet, it's the single greatest thing that they have ever done in their lives. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but yeah, it's like the most life-changing shit they've ever done whenever they talk about them.
I have noticed that.
Yeah. They're stoked on it, yeah.
They have to tell you, like, hey, my balls don't stink.
Yeah.
They go next to me in the stall when I'm taking a piss, and they're like, yeah, I have a bidet. Like, oh, yeah?
Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, thanks, man.
That's like, hey, there's a meme for you. It's the one with all the urinals on the wall, and then the guy walks up to the guy already peeing and says something, right?
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. There's one.
That's it right there. I have a bidet. There it is.
That's good. Michael also wants to know, what song has the nastiest breakdown on the album?
Oh, man. What's the name of that one song? The slow one, Tyler?
Oh, yeah, the one song with the breakdown?
Yeah, that one. Yeah. That one has a pretty good breakdown.
Dude, that's so funny because while we were recording this, Carson was like, yo, you guys should put more breakdowns in this stuff.
Yeah, I remember that.
No, I mean, every song pretty much has like and on the new album has a ridiculous breakdown. I think my favorite one is probably Broken Glass Incantation.
Bet.
I wrote that one. Hell yeah.
Bet.
Thanks, Tyler.
Bet.
What about you? Drew? What's your favorite one?
I don't remember the name of the song. There's one that starts off slow. That one has a good breakdown. Oh my god, it's embarrassing. I don't know my own song name. It didn't come out yet. It doesn't count. But
you'll learn it maybe eventually.
It's the song after Broken. Yeah, it's the song after Broken Glass. I don't know. Damn. I don't remember.
Dude.
But yeah, that one has a really good breakdown.
Yeah, that one.
Like Broken Glass.
That one.
Now we're talking about Crowbar again.
No, it's called
I'm just
Dead
kidding.
To the Dark. He's talking about A Dead to the Dark.
Dead to the Dark.
Yeah. I guess because you said Crowbar earlier, then you said Broken Glass. It made me think of that song. Or not.
I love that song.
What is that? No, that's the album. Really, and then Wrath of Time Be Judgment is the song. That's what it is.
Yeah. No, but they have a song called Broken Glass, too. That song is really good.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yep.
Really good, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see. So
I love that band.
Yeah, that band rips. The band's badass. They're kind of, if you're not used to that, it's kind of weird to get used to at first with the vocals and stuff. But I mean, then you kind of go back and listen to. Well, I was just going to say real quick, you go back and listen to, you hear that song, all right, it's pretty heavy, this is badass, and then you see what year it was made, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah, that too, yeah. And that's like a lot of bands like are people's entry level into getting into like the not so clean vocals kind of where it's like screaming but also a pitch. That band kind of like that and like Malevolence kind of for me got me more into that stuff too. And Architects too.
Yeah.
Like back in the day too.
Architects is more like the metalcore realm of that though.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. I just love how I just love Crowbar's thing where it's like people call it fat people riffs because it's like that heavy and stuff. Like that's a sick thing. I wish like
over 200-pound riffs.
Exactly, yeah. That's my favorite thing. Yeah, I was supposed to go on tour with them because Body Box went on tour with them while Last Time was recording this album, and then we went on tour with Carnifex. Otherwise, I was gonna go with Crowbar, which that would have been a freaking dream come true. But I'm more than happy with what we were doing instead.
Shit, y'all need to make that Crowbar guest feature happen. Yeah. What's up?
Oh, it'd be a dream come true.
Now you're talking.
Dude, if you Casey Strain can do it, so can you guys.
Speaking of I forgot about that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Your Disquisition, did I say that correctly? Disquisition?
Yeah,
Disquisition EP, first released with the band. Was this the first thing that you guys as a band ever dropped, period?
No.
This lineup.
Gotcha.
Lineup.
Oh, it is, yeah.
That was the first. It was the first with this lineup. I got you.
Yeah.
Well, how long ago did that release come out?
The first thing the Last 10 came out with.
That was. Yeah,
gotcha.
That was before my time. Wait. That was like, it's still MySpace era, I feel like, almost. They're just getting out of the MySpace era.
Yeah.
When that came out, I feel like.
I was like 16.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah, same.
What influences do you guys have? Maybe individually, like each of you, certain bands that we've named a few bands, so we probably have a decent idea, but maybe perhaps you can dive a little bit deeper into this. Influences that you guys have individually, maybe a band, maybe not a band, maybe any kind of person, place, thing, or idea, but also influences that the band as a whole, the last 10 seconds of life in general, might have. What are some of those for you guys?
Drew, you go first.
Want me to go first? All right.
Yeah, you go first because I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go back from like even a younger age. Like I would say like seeing like Deftones on like Headbangers Ball as a kid, that like shaped me up. That was the first thing that really shaped me into like, wow, I want to do some cool shit. I want to do shit like that. Mm-hmm. That had me going like Deftones, like a Parkland Biscuit, stuff like that. Then slowly moving over to like, I don't know. I went to some festival. I can't remember what it was. And it had like Case Strain, Whitechapel, Chosiger, and I Declare War. And I was just like, that blew my mind. Honestly, like seeing those bands just like dumb heavy, ignorant. And then just like over the years, like being huge into the Case Strain. Let's see, even Case Strain. See like Last 10 on like another festival once, like. Going to more local shows around me, it was awesome too. Case Strain, Last 10. I'm in a brain fart right now. So what bands really got me like going, but those and like even like more being in New York, that's a huge like hardcore round too. Where it's like Incendiary, Indecision, Madball, Backtrack. Like seeing shows like that too, where it's just like no rules whatsoever and it's just like straight chaos. Like that had a huge part. Like getting to go to shows like that. It's a big like hardcore background too. That's like Blood for Blood and stuff. And even like in the death metal realm too, because like it's like a New York death metal like Suffocation, Eternal Bleeding, Dehumanized, Pyrexia, stuff like that. Where it's just
the New
like,
York
the
death metal shit
in your face slam just ignorant basically. So like just being part of that scene growing up, really, ignorant, honestly. Just that had a huge part in like seeing that, being like, okay, I want to write some shit like that. And then like being in a band with Charlie, shout out Charlie.
Yo, Charlie.
Concept. He's in Suffocation, and like that's one of like the biggest death metal bands in general. Like it's huge. So I got to learn so much from him that like shaped my writing like insanely too. and like how I look at stuff too, like music wise and whatnot too. So like that really brought me a long way too, I will say. But just like, yeah. And then even like back in the day when like there was like YouTube channel like Beheading the Trader, R.I.P. Drew. He would upload like a whole bunch of like underground like metal band like breakdowns and stuff, like underground deathcore bands, stuff like that. And just like hearing the bands that like, yeah, me and Kyle Bysnatch were going back about this back because he's like the underground king. He knows all the MySpace deathcore bands and stuff like that. Stuff like all the relics and stuff like that. Like, oh, you still remember this band? Like all that. And but like a lot of those bands like definitely shaped me up. And it's just like when like lower tune music was still considered like scarier. I'm not saying it's not scary now, but it's just like with every band trying to do it now, it's just like it's hard to stand out. You know, that's the biggest thing kind of too. So I feel like really
that's a really good point about the lower tunings. That makes me think of an interview that Steve Vai did, because Steve Vai was one of the first guitarists to really use a 7-string. I mean, other people were using them, but I mean, he was one of the first ones. Him and Korn to really start using 7 strings. Well, it's funny. Steve Vai said in an interview once that he heard "Freak on a Leash" on the radio when it first came out, and that was the first time that he ever heard a 7-string on a record. And he pulled over to the side of the road and stopped his car so he listened to it. So. Sick. Now, if somebody uses a 7-string, I mean, nobody gives a shit. So it's kind of, it's kind of what you were saying about. I mean, back then, I mean, you hear Korn and you might have never heard a 7-string before, and then, but now, I mean, people, I mean, like on the Doom soundtrack, for instance, like Mick Gordon used a 9-string. I mean, it's like what? So
absolutely,
yeah.
Korn's another huge one for me. Korn for sure. That I remember hearing that. Like, my uncle showed me that band, and I was just like. Wow, like I definitely a similar reaction. Except I was a kid, didn't have a car, but I was just like, "Wow, this is like that terrifying, uncomfortable feeling. Like this is sick." I think "Freak on the Leash" is the first time I ever heard by them, and then I accidentally found like "Dying Fetus" off of like a American Idol parody video, and I thought that was terrifying. And I was like, "This is actually one of the sickest things I ever heard in my life."
What a way to discover that band!
Yeah. I was way too young to understand it, but I was like, it's still kind of sick. I was in like middle school, I think. I was just like, but I actually love it, and that also shaped me up too. It's kind of funny.
That's pretty crazy that you you one of your first entries into underground metal wasn't. Maybe it was necessarily gateway metal, quote unquote, maybe like Korn or something like that. But you seem to have found Dying Fetus at a pretty early age.
By accident. Yes, yeah. That or LimeWire. I find these bands on LimeWire by accident. I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Getting a million viruses.
I found a lot of my bands that way.
Yeah, Tyler. Now that you've had some time to maybe think about it, what? What are some of your influences?
Like in general, in music, like
I mean, just kind of in general, and specifically like maybe also for Last 10.
I mean, honestly, growing up, I wasn't like as fucked up as it is to say. Like as a child, like I wasn't too interested in music, but whenever I turned like maybe like 10 or like 9, I remember like my dad got this like this POD CD. It was called The Fundamental Elements of Southtown. Like absolutely blew my mind hearing that shit. I don't know what it was about that, but like he would listen to it super loud and it just like it really fucked me up. So like I just was I fell in love with like distorted guitars from there on. And then like System of a Down kind of pipelined into like As They Lay Dying. And then I remember discovering Whitechapel in like 2010 and being like, I want to scream just like this guy for sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, I practiced to my vocals to the Somatic Defilement and This Is Exile like day in and day out. To try and get that tone. And then of course I heard like, you know, I would be going to like local shows and I saw The Last 10 Seconds of Life and like Bring the Heat, and I would see bands like Illuminera and Ace Augustine and like just bands that would just be like absolutely crushing it, and it would influence me, you know, to do, because I feel like whenever you go out and see bands like and you can meet people that are also making music, it influences you even more so than just like listening to like a record sometimes even. Like whenever I go out on tour with bands and I see how like Ben Mason was doing vocals and what he was doing, or Dave from Signs of the Swarm, and talking to him about how he does his vocals, like all these different things influence me on how I'm about to do my next thing. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
It can be like people, or it can be literal music that you listen to, you know, people that influence you on how you make your music, on whatever you're inspired by.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. That it's influences are not only just bands, but yeah, it's also any noun, right? Person, place, thing, or idea could potentially be an influence. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. Well, I mean, is there anything else you guys would like to discuss before we wrap up? Anything you want to plug or talk about or anything?
No Name Graves comes out on February 9th. Fucking pre-order that shit right the fuck now.
He said.
What he said.
What he come through this shit.
Copy paste that.
What? Yeah, copy and paste that.
Copy paste that. Exactly.
All right, guys.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
I appreciate y'all coming out. Tim from Orfest, thanks again for throwing this. Everybody we had in chat here, thank you so much for the comments and the questions and stuff. You guys have been badass, man. It's been a pleasure to have y'all on. So hopefully we'll touch base soon.
Yes, of course. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you guys.